Hey guys, welcome back to another Step Up Your Game video with me. We're going to be going over an Aquarius Slayer here. I'm going to try to make sure to go through most game types, if not all game types with this series, trying not to do really any repeats. Today we're going to do a little bit shorter one with Slayer. I'm going to try my best to still go in depth with everything, so it'll probably be a little bit shorter and sweeter compared to the last video, but still going to try to pack it with a bunch of information, just following my POV and getting some, third-person angle views of what's going on sometimes to give a little bit more insight. But let's just jump right into it. Start off, get some shots, grabbing the thrust, getting involved, get our first kill, and we're up on the map. And we're actually, if you look down at the score line, we're actually losing the trade-offs here. We're actually gets 1P2. We're tied right now. This is why, especially here at the beginning of the game, you want to get involved as quickly as possible. Aquarius is mid control, it's top control. That is why, like, top bases are very important. You want to control them, but if you can be the team that gets up here, it's very straightforward. But if you can be the team that's top mid, car 3, P2, controlling these angles is what wins you games. It is what, if you as a team can control these angles, you are going to come out on top more often than not. Now, obviously, 2 people died on our team, 2 people died on the other team. I'm not going to be running around. I'm not trying to push. I've got a thrust. I've got my shields back. I'm trying to just, like, wait it out, take my time. You're not seeing me sprint around too much right now. I know that people probably also moving around like acid here, and that's why I seem to get a nice, easy cleanup. We're still kind of trading out a bit, but I'm staying around mid. Quantum is up. Quantum's definitely not as important as Camo used to be on this map. I would say, like, honestly, Quantum is pretty equivalent. It can be better than Thrust, but it's still pretty similar to Thrust in terms of, like, impact that it can have. That's why you don't really see me gunning for Quantum right away. If I didn't have Thrust, I would absolutely be getting up here, getting this as quickly as possible, but I'm still just kind of taking my time. There's no real rush. I know people are going to be spawning up. Whenever you're playing Aquarius, you literally, in most of these maps, really in Infinite, it's really important to recognize that, like, the map is, most of these maps are quite literally a square, and how the spawns are going to be influenced a lot of times is that if you're blocking your corner, if you're standing on one side of the map, they're going to be spawning in just about any corner. And so I already know we have yellow blocked, locked down. I was car 3, moved over to pink after getting my kill, and I saw that nobody was going to be on this side yet. No one's really walking around me, so that's why you see me kind of holding down this this angle here initially on P1, hoping to catch somebody, but also just trying to get some shots early down on those guys into Gen. But I get back down. We're kind of stuck. It's an even game. But a lot of times too, sorry I'm pausing so much, but this is really important to note, is that the teams that control top mid are, it is, like I said earlier, very important to be in this space. But again, for especially movement, you want to be controlling this bottom mid and using these lanes for bottom mid whenever you are actually getting your aggression going. If you can't go top mid, this is honestly pretty exposed running around this area from every single direction. So if it's a pretty even game or you don't really know where everyone is, it can be very dangerous to just kind of be roaming around either on the side that you don't control, since we control yellow, they have blue, and to just be top mid when my teammates are kind of trapped in Gen or working Gen side. If I'm just kind of up here, I'm going to get shot by like a car 3 guy, maybe a guy top blue, maybe a guy blue Gen, maybe somebody actually would hit blue P Street. That's why, like, working this bottom lane is really important. And I think I actually see that my teammates are working car, so then that's why you're going to, after I see that no one's actually here, I'm just cutting it real quick to try to get across and get a flank down underneath and get in here. Now, there's nobody actually here, but that's the kind of routes you want to be taking. You want to try to keep your angles cut off. You want to try to get in as directly as possible. And things are kind of just going back and forth right now. Haven't really found anybody for a little while. And I eventually got the quantum because might as well try to pick up the power-up. Still a pretty even game for the most part. Envoy's actually out top mid. But that's, again, this is a good example of being out somewhere when you don't have control as a team and why it can be dangerous. He's in a pretty good spot overall, especially being on this side of top mid. That this is at least still the kind of the side that we still control. This is like where you want to be. Maybe even a little bit more tucked away so that you're making sure you're not going to get shot from pink. But he's still doing pretty good here, just kind of keeping his shields and keeping the sight line and being pushed out on the map. So this is another great example of just kind of being tucked away, cutting your angles, getting some control just by where your body is, and that if the fight is going to happen, you're at least ready to fight with the rest of your team and maybe even catching somebody off guard if they're walking around you. And then he's able to act and do exactly what I said earlier, where really shouldn't be trying to jump and run top mid because he knows somebody's pink, so he takes this low angle here, and that's a great example of moving around the map. And I see that he actually cuts from that car 3 angle to go over here. That's why you see me cut over to watch my own teammate. And this is a good example and why, you know, I do get frustrated with people in matchmaking at times, because it really is this simple to a degree where I'm kind of like looking around to try to find somebody. You know, I saw that Envor was here, but I can still, like, he is more important than, like, trying to keep watching this sight line when I see that he's cutting over to the left here. I'm not trying to start walking by myself, car 2, where I don't know where anyone is, going for shocks. Maybe there's a guy car 3, car 1. Maybe there's a guy that's about to poke on the head glitch. I'm not trying to take that angle. I'm going to try to work off of the space that my teammates have already taken over, and I see them through the wall the entire time. These outlines are always available to you. You literally need to look through the walls for your teammates to see where they are moving, to give yourself a guidance. Because I still can hit a lane by myself. It is just one of those things that your likelihood of actually coming out on top is so much lower than actually getting a cross shot, a cross team shot with someone. And unfortunately, our teammate did die pink, and Envor was kind of stuck down P1. We really couldn't get much going, and the other team just takes advantage of it. But the long term that is the case is, like, it's good to try to work off those angles, work off your teammate whenever they are farther out ahead of you, and try to clear a path with them, or watch their, you know, watch their angle, the opposite angle that they are not currently at, like I was watching pink and Envor's hitting P1, so that if I actually back somebody down or distract for him, he can maybe get like a big flank going. So that's why it is really important to try to utilize those team shots. Come off respawn. Was not expecting him to be going for that thrust, but thrusts are literally king inside this mode, so always got to be aware of that. And I'm still kind of weak, so that's why you're not seeing me rush out right away. I think I want to just try to get out towards Envor, and again, this is that similar thing where he's far enough out, and I'm going to try to watch a separate angle that I can utilize in this moment, because it's like there's a few different angles to work from. I can either watch his front yellow and like yellow bridge. I can maybe get up top and try to look at his car, you know, car 3 or his car 1 from this side. But again, it's the more present angle you can take as quickly as possible. As I know, pink is probably clear. Maybe there could have been a guy around me, but I'm going to take my chances on getting my full shields and then just getting a little bit more forward for Envor here, maybe. But he dies, so I'm just going to kind of post up for a few seconds. That's why you're going to see me wait. And again, I think maybe I've talked about this before in the last video, and I talked about it before in stream. It's really important to slow down. Like, I wasn't really being too aggressive, but I was being aggressive for Envor whenever he was pushed out here, but he's dead. That play is essentially done. That was in my mind. Like, I'm just going to slow down and maybe catch somebody off guard. I'm not trying to be too crazy right now. I'm going to be cutting my angles. I'm checking my corners, looking left, looking right. Then I catch this guy, hear him. I happen to miss my first shot, lose the fight. Happens. And we kind of are all over the place, but we're at least kind of curling back in, and this is, again, the way that you want to play Aquarius a lot of the times. Where I saw this fight, you can kind of see from the rest of my team, once I die, like, we are splitting off. And it's not like you need to be doing, you know, a 3-man, 4-man, 1 lane, everyone looking at the exact same thing every single time. That's not always going to work. And that's why you see these guys from both sides curling back into the map and looking closest to their angles. That's why sometimes people, they get out towards pink, they get out towards car side, they go gen to gen, they go fridge to fridge, they go straight through. And sometimes that's like the right play, but it has to be the right play because of like what the rest of the team is able to kind of get rolling with you. If you haven't checked top mid, if you haven't checked bottom mid, you haven't checked your front base or even the other team's front base, it's really good to have that curl in the mid space rather than completely cutting yourself off to maybe people shooting you in the back or free damage that you could be dealing. And that's why this is a good moment right here to kind of capitalize on it from both of these players that did the same thing. They both went out pink, car, turn in, easy kills. And that's unfortunate that angle right there, one-shot guy walks out from gen. This was an actual game. That call-out probably would have gotten cleaned up, but it happens. So it's okay. That's still, again, the right mindset in some of these plays are happening. It's just harder to capitalize on. And I should have gotten that cleaned up, but sometimes things just happen. Because I did the same thing, spawn out pink, look in, curl towards mid. Got a kill or two, but it just wasn't really enough. We're still struggling just a little bit. Spawn really far out, but the guys over here are actually playing pretty good defense. And I see that And so I'm going to cut on over. Again, same thing. You want to get back to your teammates. I'll just say I don't know how that guy in my... I don't know how he died. Or did not die, rather. But we all experienced that with this game. It's all good. Again, the mindset is here. I'm spawning out really far blue fridge. All of my team is in yellow. I'm going to cut back towards my team. Or at least, sometimes too, it's not even necessarily like I need to get involved front base here. I could have still just stayed P2. I could have just stayed P1. But the important thing is that I'm still trying to cover my teammates and get some free damage when I can, where I can in the mid space while we're taking these kills and trying to get back in this game. So we're down 7 now. We've been down a good bit. So we're definitely struggling. We're definitely struggling. But come off respawn, hit up B2, same exact idea. That's why I'm gonna probably sound like a broken record for some of these things, but it's about that consistency. And people always ask, like, what can I do better? What can I do better? It's like, it's making sure you're doing these things consistently. And sometimes they're gonna work out, sometimes they're not. But more often than not, if you're making the right decisions, like long term, it will eventually work out for you, especially if you get enough people on the same page. And I think that's mainly what it takes for us as a team in this game to really reach that. This is a little bit of a different situation. We're almost on a complete diagonal of the square. Like, these guys are yellow, going yellow-pink. I am like blue gen here, and I'm making my way back towards them. Because I can stay still here. If I really want to, I can. But it's better to, again, close that gap between you and your team and to still, again, work the space towards mid so that everyone else that's far back on the map, meaning these guys all in yellow, they can move forward towards me, and I'm going back towards them. They're going to be safer. I'm going to be safer. We can hopefully get some crosses on each other and catch people who are, guys like this out in the open, maybe a guy down here, if we're collapsing in on the same things together. That's why eventually the pressure and the damage gets me a freer kill, and I'm still alive, and we're putting pressure on different things. He dies blue fridge. This is a good example, again, of someone being a little too far out. You can take those risks. You can take those pivs. They're not always going to work out. Sometimes you're just going to lose them like that. He's really far out there, and I think I was actually the one that just got this kill here, so again, that's why it's good to have or be that person that can be in the middle space to take advantage of this damage. Even if you do lose a situation, someone like me in this moment can get an easier cleanup. Going right out towards mid. Thrust is up. If thrust is up on Aquarius, don't just insta-dive on it. You see, I still take my time a little bit. I'm not just diving out front blue window after getting a little bit of damage and just going straight for it. Because again, you got to make sure that your closest angles are covered. You got to make sure that you're not getting shot from these spaces or somebody, lingering around these positions, which that's exactly what these guys happen to be doing. Thankfully, we got some damage. We had some eyes watching over me because it could have been an easier kill on me if I did not have that help, as well as somebody further out on the map. But that's why we're able to get a couple easier kills. I get my thrust. We're getting some space on the map. And again, I'm looking left, right. Our gen side is clear. I cleared out top side. My teammates are clearing bottom side. I'm going to now curl back in towards mid and look towards pink. I'm looking towards the other side. I'm working this angle. And since we have control, it's not like I need to be playing down here, moving forward, playing safe, trying to get the, get to my teammate, who happens to be P2. I'm going to be challenging for him and getting the damage dealt that I can from that space. Now, I'm really weak here, so I'm just going to try to play my shields, play some corners, play some angles rather, stay alive. And luckily, again, my teammates are doing the exact same thing that I was doing earlier. They were controlling the the other lane. They see that things are going down over here. It's better to try not to split our focus and essentially have different 1v1s in different spots. It's better to have that tunneled view on something at the right moment. And that's exactly what happens. I get to P2 while I'm weak, and these guys are both sitting like car 3 looking P2. Keeping me safe, getting damage, distracting. That's exactly what allows me to come back up here and get the nice double there. I almost die. It's a very, very tight kill, but I'm able to get through it. Almost get my 3-shot melee, but I got the damage down, and I think we're able to close out that kill. Takes a little longer than you'd like, but we got our kill. It's a 5-kill game now. It was like 7 or 8. Now it's getting a bit tighter. Come off respawn. I'm getting a little bit of space, and this is a good example of this is where you kind of want to play a little solo just to make sure that I'm not going to super tunnel as well to 3-man a lane, Because if I came, even though like these guys are kind of weak here, if I came running down pink from pink door or from front yellow, this guy's gonna shoot me in my back or shoot me in my side. Or if I hit double pink here a second ago, I can just kind of tell from the way that we're taking damage and how spread out we are and how we're dying. This is like a losing scenario, and this is like you don't want to run into a losing scenario and make it a total loss. This is Vampish. He just got a kill in blue fridge. Great. But I am not going to be a guy back yellow or yellow gen going to really be able to help him all that much in terms of like getting my body there. So that's why like it's good to kind of just make sure that no one's getting here for free. And then I can still get shots on P1, P2, maybe somebody bottom mid or top mid crossing. And that's what I'm going to try to do here is I'm controlling the game a little bit just with my body at least. And hopefully I'm going to catch somebody off guard. Exactly what I do with Acid here. Like we're still making plays on pink a little bit by just surviving and just distracting, getting damage. I'm making sure my backside's clear. He just made a play by living long enough on blue pink that like he gets the spawners to come up and get the, I think maybe 2 kills that were over there earlier. That is huge. It is absolutely huge. Yeah, there were 2 people over there. I think he kills another guy, P1, caught him off guard. They're actually getting squad spawns, yellow, pink, which if you guys don't really know, that is a huge, huge spawn influence type of thing. If you are the team that already controls a space, it is very likely that you are going to have people spawning around you. And so in this scenario, that is just like what to expect. It's like people can spawn out, but people have to spawn out after there's a lot of pressure. Like say blue gen here. We're not really in yellow fridge to contest that fully, so that's why these people are still going to continuously spawn in this corner with the rest of their team that happens to be around here. And that is why like it is good to control this space and control these angles where you can. Because even though I am not, again, putting my body on the line at pink, I don't really need to. We can just let them be there. You can let them be in any corner. That's why like the map being a square is really important to recognize because, you know, some people want a base control or, you know, you want a very particular control on a map. A lot of these square style maps, any angle can really be useful for you. You just have to recognize it and you just have to recognize the spawns. And you just have to know how to play around that. So we'll just let it go from here. We get our kills, a couple of them. It's a 1-kill game now. It's just a 5-kill game. Now it's a 1-kill game. We're making the comeback. Teammate wins his piv on gen. I'm top mid, so I'm cutting towards the lane to see it. Can't really get anything going there right away. I really wanted to get involved there, but I got caught, got hit by a nade. I'm really weak, so I kind of just need to take my time as best I can. I'm still just getting tagged up. And luckily, this is why I think I talked about playing corners, playing your angles. This is why it's really important to not overextend, especially when you're weak. Unless you know what you're about to do. I'm like pretty unsure in this moment. I'm getting tagged up by nades left and right. There's just no reason for me to try to like step out this far to look in while I'm one shot. Like that's why you see me jiggling this corner. Because if I get shot once, I can at least take 1 shot. And that's all I need is to take, even right here, even though I'm really, really weak, my shields are almost broken. They're still not broken. That's why I'm able to take a shot. He actually misses the headshot, thankfully. And I'm able to like drop off, get away, and you know just be as annoying as possible. And my teammate, I think he got him weak. And unfortunately, I was able to just get double teamed. Like this is just what's gonna happen sometimes. I would like cut the corner a little too slow because I wasn't really expecting this other guy to be here in this fashion, or like for them to be there for each other as quickly as they were. But I probably could have slid out here a little bit faster to chow this, but I wasn't really sure of the situation. But I'm just getting damage down, and the rest of the team still knows what's going on here. Again, it's really important. These guys are coming off respawn. This guy was in mid. They're cutting back into the lane to kind of get back to me. So even my little bit of playing my life and a little bit of damage is really going to help. Because now this guy's on the run. If these were comms, like these would be super easy comms to make sure that this person's getting cleaned up. This guy is actually getting caught off guard just a little bit, but not so much. Like he's pretty aware of what the situation is. And that's why these guys in mid are just able to get cleaned up really easily, come off respawn, help get that kill. These guys are still pushed out. So now when we have our 2 kills on the board right now, that's why I'm running front yellow. I'm dropping off front yellow window. I don't need to play slow here to clear out my left, clear out my right. Again, I'm spawning yellow. It's a very good assumption to make that these guys are spawning pretty far away from me. maybe they could have been, close yellow fridge, but it's very unlikely. I hear gunfire, and I know that 2 people just died. It's like the remaining people are probably going to be further up on the map, and even if I die, probably going to be able to get some good damage dealt, and we're going to be able to capitalize off of it. So we only needed 2 kills. Now we just need 1. Bring off respawn. I think we killed the other second guy that was still alive, and I would have killed that guy at P2. And that's how we made a comeback. Hopefully that was a good enough breakdown of the moment-to-moment action. Aquarius is super stressful, I'd almost say, in terms of like how the map feels. It's a lot of repetition. Even just talking about it, as you can hear, like there's just a lot of the same similar type of playstyle moments that are going to win you the game, with the consistency factor of cutting in, finding your angles, getting the damage, making sure you're not dying or taking too much damage too easily. And that, I believe, is what allowed us to, make that comeback. We had some struggle moments. We lost some pivotal fights, but we got some control, and then we were still using the same exact play style to our advantage by the end of it. And that's exactly why you saw us getting those collapses, those near perfect collapses, essentially, to close out that victory. So I hope this helped you guys. I really do. And let me know what your thoughts are. If there's anything I missed, any particular game type some of you guys want, just let me know in the comments. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying the series. We're going to keep it going, trying to get some of the other game modes. I like to find, like, obviously, like, I want to find some wins. If there's, like, a loss that's, like, good enough that I feel like we can learn from, I'll still do some of those too. But I do like to show off the wins because I feel like it really does encapsulate the right plays. It's better to talk about the right plays that can actually visualize rather than just, like, conceptually talking about the right things. All the, if we're watching a losing game for some of those. But we might still do some of those in the future as well, and just get them all in there nonetheless. But I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I'll be getting more recorded and put out, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace, guys.